Hey guys, on Wednesday for your math work, we talked about, or you watched a video about and did work on factors. Alright? Factors. And if you remember, factors are the numbers that you can multiply to get a number. For example, you had the number 30, and you had to find the factors of 30. And the factors of 30 are simply two numbers that you can multiply to get 30. One thing that we know for sure for any number is you always can use the number 1. Alright, so 1 times 30. 1 is a factor, 30 is a factor. I can look at 30 and see the 0 here at the end and know that I can multiply by 10 and do 10 times 3. I know that 30 is 5 is a factor. 5 times 6. I can do 15 times 2. And the correct way to write an answer for the factors of 30 is I would take this and I would actually take these numbers and I would put them in order. And I'd say the factors of 30 are 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 10, 15, and 30. And if you remember, when we were at school, we did factor rainbows. Watch this. This is pretty cool. I actually made a factor rainbow. I can do 5 times 6, 3 times 10, 2 times 15, 1 times 30. Alright, so when you have a problem or when you get to 5th grade and your teacher goes, raise your hand and tell me a factor of 30, you could tell her multiplication problem and then say the factors are 1 and 30, or you could list out numbers like this and say here are the factors: 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 10, 15, 30. Some of you may be going, Miss Weaver, this is really hard to do in my head, and I totally agree with you. It's hard for me to just start spitting out numbers that I know that I can multiply to get 30. That is why I did this first. I listed out my multiplication facts so I could get my factors. Alright. Another example here. I want to do another example until we start learning some new stuff. Let's do the factors of 12. So, factors of 12. I'm going to first list out my multiplication problems. Remember, I always can do 1. 1 times 12. I know that 2 is an even number, so I'm going to think, ooh, I can probably multiply by 2. I can probably do 2 times 6. Is there anything else to get 12? I think that is it. So if I want to make my factor rainbow, I'll put them in order: 1, 2, 6, and 12. And then we're going to make a rainbow. Alright, and that is how we determine factors. For today, we are going to kind of go beyond just listing factors, and we're going to make something, and this is called a factor tree. That's what we call it. So we've made factor rainbows, now we're going to make a factor tree. And that this is how it's going to work. We're going to take what we just did and we're going to put it in a different design. Alright, so here's my first example. 20. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to break 20 apart. And I'm going to put 2 numbers here. And then this answer, we're going to see if we can break these numbers apart. Alright, and here's what I'm going to tell you a secret on how to do this. it is very smart to always start with very small numbers, all right? Very small numbers, and what I mean by that is think, can I multiply 2 times something to get 20? Or 4 times something to get 20? Or 3, something kind of small. And you're going to see why we need to do that later. So here I have 20, and I'm going to think something small, and I already know right away that I can do 2 times 10. I don't know if that went in your head right away, but I know that I can multiply by 2 because it's an even number. 2 times 10. 2 times 10 is 20. Then I'm just going to look at these two numbers and think, can I break these apart? 2 times 1 is 2. Does anything else equal 2 times 1? I don't think so. All right. So I'm just going to write down 2. All right. Remember that 1 is always going to be a factor. All the time. You always can do 1 times something and get that number. So that's why we're not going to write 1 down. What about 10? 10. Can I do more than just 10 times 1? Absolutely. And I'm going to write these numbers down here. I know that I can do 10 times 1, and I can do 5 times 2. I went ahead of myself. And what I'm going to put between these numbers is a multiplication sign. All right? And if you remember, when we were at school, we talked about something called a prime number. Do you remember hearing the word prime number? Basically, what we just did is we took the factors of 20, we broke them down, and what we have left right here are prime numbers. This is something that is called a prime factorization. And I know this looks like a really long word, but look right here. We have the word factor, and that's what you did on Wednesday. So just ignore this part. It's a fancy name for what this is. So the prime factorization, or what are the prime numbers for 20, would be 2 times 5 times 2. And watch, if I were to solve this, I would have 2 times 5 is 10 times 2 equals 20. This equals 20. Basically what we're doing is we're taking our factors, we're breaking them apart into really small numbers until we have prime numbers, and I can still multiply that and get 20. All right? I'm going to do one more example for you, and then I'm going to have you do 2 on your own for today's homework. All right? So let me get a new piece of paper. We're going to do the number 28. 28. All right. So the number 28, I'm going to think small. Remember, I want to start small. I want to think, can I multiply by 2 to get 28? Can I do something times 2 to get 28? Or can I do something times 3? I do not want to do 1 because I'm going to have 28 here. Then I'm going to have to break it down again. It's like doing an extra step. I know that both of these numbers are even. So I know I can multiply by 2. Okay? And if you're stuck and you don't know 2 times what gives you 28, think of 2 times what gives you 2. 1. So I'm going to write that right here. And 2 times what can give you 8? 4. That means 2 times 14 can give me 28. All right. Next, I'm going to think is it prime? Can I break it down even more? And you should tell yourself always, always that 2 is a prime number. I cannot break it down. So down here, I'm just going to write 2 and worry about my 14. All right. Can I break 14 apart? We can break down 14. We can. I can do 2 times 7 and get 14. Remember, 2 is already prime. We can't break it down. We're going to leave these 2 alone. Can I break down 7? Can I do something times something to give me 7 other than 7 times 1? I don't want to do 7 times 1 because then I'll have 7 down here again. That's like doing an extra step. I don't think we can do anything else. So that means my prime factorization, remember factorization is just another fancy word for factors. My prime factorization is 2 times 2 times 7. Okay? I don't want you to look at this and think there are too many steps. Okay? Look at this. I did 28. I thought, what times what gives me 28? 2 times 14. I did not put 4 times 7 because it's not very small. Okay? If I did 4 times 7, then I guess you could do that and break apart 4. But I did 2 times 14. Then I thought, all right, can I break apart 2? Nope, it's prime. Can I break apart 14? Absolutely. 2 times 7 equals 14. Can't break apart 2, it's prime. Can't break apart 2, it's prime. 7. That one had to make me think. Can I multiply 2 numbers to get 7? Other than 7 times 1? Nope. So, my prime factorization is 2 times 2 times 7. If I wanted to double check this, I could go 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 7, 28. That is how you make a factor tree. Alright, that's what we're doing today. Factor trees. If you have not completed your assignment for factors in general, where we talked about our factors here on Wednesday, you might want to do that one first and then come back to this one and do factor trees. Okay? Remember guys, if you ever need help with any of these assignments, please email me or have your parents message me in Class Dojo. We can video chat and we can complete the assignments together. I miss you guys and I hope you have a fantastic day.